What's up? Welcome to the Mobility Moment. Last time, Kyle showed us a few ways to relieve tension headaches by softening up the tissues in and around the face and neck area. He showed us a few ways to kind of work on your temporalis, your masseter, your sternocleidomastoid, and some of the muscles down here underneath the cheekbone. Today I'm going to show you a few ways to enhance these techniques by including a few stretches. What we're going to work on are the masseter right here and the sternocleidomastoid back here that attaches from the base of the neck down to the top of the chest up here, your clavicle, and in the middle of the sternum. First, let's start with the masseter. What you want to do is apply a little gentle pressure with either one or two fingers and create a little distraction between the upper jaw and the lower jaw, which basically means pulling those two bones apart. We're going to apply some gentle pressure in the muscle to relieve some of that tension in your jaw. Once again, you want to start off with either 2 or 3 fingers, and you want to do this gently since most people aren't used to applying a whole lot of pressure to their jaws. Once you have that in place, you want to apply just a little bit of pressure to your jaw and work your way in as you become more comfortable with the massage. Now go ahead and switch over to the other side. Now, for those of you concerned as far as timing goes, you can either do this intuitively until you feel some good relief from that tension, just ease into it and kind of feel it out. Or if you're really pressed for time, what I would recommend is do about 3 to 5 deep and slow breaths in and out. And that should give you a pretty solid amount of time to just relieve some of that tension in your jaw. Now we're going to go ahead and work on the sternocleidomastoid, which is this whole chunk of neck muscle right here. And the way we're going to do that is somewhat similar to the last bit, where we're going to apply a little bit of a stretch, and then we're going to put some gentle pressure on some of those tender spots so that we can apply even more of a stretch, as well as breaking up any bundled up bits of tissue in there. So what you want to do is, if you're going to work the right side of your neck, you're going to pull it towards your left with your left hand, and then apply some pressure either with your thumb or your index and middle finger. Just go ahead and first start off by putting it into a stretch. And then the trick here is to try to keep your shoulders down while moving just your elbow and your forearm and your hand towards those points of pressure, and just gently applying some circular motion or some downward motion to move that tension away and down. Once again, you can do that intuitively until you feel the muscle relax, or you can do it for 3 to 5 long, deep breaths if you're pressed for time. And don't forget to do the other side. Again, applying a gentle stretch, or as aggressive of a stretch as you'd like. And then applying gentle downward strokes or circular strokes. Now, it's best to remember that these are just a simple set of guidelines. There's no rigid set of rules. Go ahead and just explore in those areas and find your particular spots of tension and work to relieve some of that stress. You want to try and do these at minimum 2 to 3 times a day, just because it's so easy to take for granted, in spite of the fact that the jaw, for example, goes through about an average of 3,000 use cycles in any given day. What this should help do is, besides relieving that tension, it should ease a little bit of overall stress in your day and ultimately in your life, since you're going to be less inflamed and irritated by this tense set of muscles. For those of you who have a performance consideration, this will help to allow the other muscles of your back to be able to take control, because oftentimes a lot of people tend to become very neck and upper back dominant because they spend a lot of time in sort of this hunched over position while they're at their desk. Thanks for checking out the Mobility Moment. Tune in for more ways to fix your postural issues, relieve your stress, and reclaim your awesome. Go ahead and give us a thumbs up, share our stuff, and subscribe so that you guys can stay up to date on everything we've got going on here on this channel. Take care and see you guys around. Peace.